The longest-running plotline on this show, aside from Donald Trump, of course, is the saga of Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman, which we first covered over 7 years ago in the early days of this channel when 20-year-old Jacob teamed up with 50-something-year-old Jack on a string of increasingly absurd press conferences intended to smear prominent Trump enemies as sex criminals and perverts. It's a bit of a problematic age gap, probably wouldn't have gone over as well today as it did back then.
Certainly got into some problems, yes.
This began with a 2018 press conference where they accused special counsel Robert Mueller of sexual misconduct, and it actually managed to attract an entire room full of reporters. But after that, it was diminishing returns as similar press conferences about Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, and many others deteriorated into a weird little sideshow mainly attended by hecklers.
Mm-hmm.
In the following years, these two got up to all sorts of other hijinks, like creating an extremely sketchy and unethical predator-catching reality series. But in 2020, they decided to branch out into actively trying to suppress the African-American vote in that year's presidential election, which sounds illegal, because it is, and was.
Yes.
And they were dumb enough to not only commit this crime, but also take credit for it when they might have been able to get away with it otherwise.
Well, it was like one of the things that actually worked. They wanted to take credit for something. Yeah.
Well, it didn't work. Joe Biden won that year. So.
Yeah, but they still had a good idea. Yeah. Anyways, basically in August 2020, Burkman and Wohl sent automated pre-recorded robocalls to phone numbers in predominantly black area codes in multiple states with the following message. Hi, this is Tamika Taylor from Project 1599, the civil rights organization founded by Jack Burkman and Jacob Wohl.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
Mail-in voting sounds great, but did you know that if you vote by mail, your personal information will be part of a public database that will be used by police departments to track down old warrants and be used by credit card companies to collect outstanding debts? The CDC is even pushing to use records for mail-in voting to track people for mandatory vaccines. Don't be finessed into giving your private information to the man. Stay safe and beware of vote by mail. Which, yeah, first off, pretty racist. But
the man.
Also incredibly dumb to include their names, when not only is this a crime, but anyone that they called could just Google them and see that their main claim is telling lies.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're known for.
Uh-huh.
That's their whole thing. Is
it
lies.
says scam artist right next to these guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
This, plus the fact that the robocalls originated from Jack Burkman's personal cell phone number, seemed almost too stupid for even these two clowns. And when they initially tried to claim they were being framed, it almost seemed believable.
Who would be that dumb?
But no, they did that shit, and there would be consequences.
Yeah, so the biggest hit that they took was the FCC fining Wohl Burkman $5.1 million for violating the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. And in New York, they were fined $1 million for violating multiple civil rights laws, including the Ku Klux Klan Act. But then over in Ohio, despite initially being charged with some pretty serious crimes, they pled their sentence down to just a $2,500 fine for each of them, plus 2 years of probation, plus 500 hours of community service, registering voters in Washington, D.C. So a real spectrum of consequences here, and it was unclear how the last remaining case in Michigan would pan out for them. They were charged with multiple felonies in Michigan, but the case dragged on for years. And this past August, they both pleaded no contest to the charges, which avoids a trial. By that point, we'd heard barely a peep from either of these clowns for quite some time, but, well, recently they popped up on our radar once again, as they often do. This time for working as lobbyists on behalf of clients willing to pay them exorbitant amounts of money to have them convince Donald Trump to pardon them for crimes that they've committed. And we will be discussing yet another Trump pardon elsewhere in today's show.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, it's exactly the sort of slimy, amoral grift that you'd expect Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman to get up to in the second Trump administration.
But what about those Michigan charges? Would this be the case that finally puts Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman in prison where they belong?
Come on.
Well, unfortunately, no.
Damn it.
Here's the official press release from the Michigan Attorney General. Today, Jack Burkman, 59, of Arlington, Virginia, and Jacob Wohl, 27,
still problematic,
of Great Falls, Virginia, were sentenced by Judge Margaret Van Houten of the Third Circuit Court in Wayne County to 1 year probation after pleading no contest to orchestrating a series of robocalls aimed at suppressing the vote of predominantly black voters in Detroit in the 2020 general election, announced Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel. Attorney General Nessel personally appeared at the hearing as the attorney on record for the Department of Attorney General. The plea and sentence were the product of a Cobb's agreement between the defendants and the court. The Department of Attorney General was not involved in the agreement.
The defendant's conduct used every racist dog whistle, fear of incarceration, fear of the government, and fear of one's benefits being taken away to steal the most fundamental right that we often take for granted, the right to vote, Nessel said. While on probation, if they engage in these types of criminal behaviors, they will be held to account here in Michigan. We all are aware, and this court has made these defendants aware, that continuing to engage in criminal conduct while on probation is a violation for which the department will be ever vigilant about bringing to the attention of their probation agents and this court. If they willingly choose to engage in the types of repulsive behaviors they have gained notoriety for, this court and my department will be watching. So yeah, basically, not even a slap on the wrist.
Go do crimes.
Nothing.
Go do crimes.
Everyone gets one. This one's a free one.
But some people get multiple.
So Ohio at least fined them a few $1,000s and made them do community service.
Yeah.
Michigan's just letting them get away with it. And the only way they'll face any consequences is if they commit another crime within the next year, which, I mean, not unlikely.
Sure.
But still, come on. Are you kidding me? I mean, for what we can tell, the lengthy appeals process in this specific case was costing the state of Michigan so much money that it was just cheaper to let them plea out of the whole thing. But in terms of actual justice, this is a fucking travesty.
This is one of those
What the fuck?
very serious things that should have very serious consequences because it would dissuade people from doing it again.
Well, they can't do it again, so justice served?
Yeah, justice served.
This is like...
This is insane.
Yeah, I mean, like, you cannot argue that there isn't a two-tiered justice system in this country.
No, it's outrageous.
And like normally you wouldn't expect guys like Jacob Wohl and Jack Burkman to be on the upper tier, but like they are. I guess the key to committing a crime is commit a complicated crime and just waste the state's time and
you
money.
You have to have a lot of patience.
Yeah, just get a good lawyer who's going to like drag the whole thing out through like appeals and even maybe get it up to the state Supreme Court. And they're going to be like, God, it's been 5 years. Just get the fuck out of here. And you're going to get away with it. Whereas like you steal something or commit a just basic street crime, you're going away for a while. But
you're going straight down to the county jail to share a cell with like murderers and robbers and stuff like that. It's not. It's
I
crazy.
don't think these guys spent a single night behind bars.
No.
This is so. I'm so mad.
This is just like in California, if you get like a speeding ticket, you can there's a service where all the lawyer does is show up for you and keep dragging it out until they eventually drop the case.
Yeah, that is. I mean, it's not even just that we have a two-tiered justice system. It's just like if you can afford decent representation, as long as you can pay that lawyer to run up those hours, you're gonna get away with a lot more than you would otherwise.
Yeah,
and that's great. So now they're free to continue doing
at this point
what they do.
At this point, Jacob Wohl will have been up to criminal activities for more than half his life soon.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's not like they're first-time offenders. Like,
no, this is his entire adult life.
Jacob Wohl's been doing, like, he got his first, like, financial crimes were when he was still, like, a teenager. So, like...
Yeah, and now his frontal lobe is fully formed. We can't keep letting them get away with this. And like, Jack Burkman he's been a grown adult this entire time.
Yeah. I mean, probation, you give that to someone, it's, like, first-time offense. Like,
all right, yeah, you probably didn't mean to do it.
You were a good boy who was led astray.
Yeah.
But
this is...
and it's 1 year, too. Oh, just,
luckily, there's no other elections coming up in the following years.
God.
Yeah. So that news sucks. But let's look around. Do we have any good news to cheer everyone up? No, of course not. We live in hell. Not a single day passes without the stupid president doing some blatantly evil shit that we have to talk about. And today it's Trump being just straight up mask off racist and Trump issuing yet another criminal pardon to someone who seems pretty damn undeserving of it. Start with the racism, I guess. It's been a pretty racist week already, following the shooting of 2 National Guard members in D.C. last week by an Afghan immigrant. This kicked the racism machine into overdrive and led to calls from Trump and his allies to ban all Muslim immigration and deport Muslim immigrants currently in the United States. This, despite the fact that the suspect in the shooting was trained to kill by the CIA as a member of a zero-unit death squad in the war and was allowed to enter the United States because of his service to our military. So this wasn't just some random Muslim asylum seeker. He's technically one of ours and is just the latest PTSD-afflicted veteran of the global war on terror to do something like this. But fuck all that nuance, I guess.
Yeah, get it out of here.
Time to get racist. And despite Somalians in Minnesota having nothing to do with this incident whatsoever, they're catching a lot of very racist strays over the past week. Shit that is shocking, even with Trump's track record.
Yeah, this is some throwback fucking racism.
Yeah.
This is how they talked about the Irish in the 1850s.
This is how people like Trump and his cronies talk behind closed doors. It's shocking to see them just kind of fling the door open, because they usually use a lot more subtlety.
Yeah.
For example, here's the President of the United States Thanksgiving Day address to the nation on Truth Social last week.
Happy holidays.
Uh-huh.
A very happy Thanksgiving salutation to all of our great American citizens and patriots who've been so nice in allowing our country to be divided, disrupted, carved up, murdered, beaten, mugged, and laughed at, along with certain other foolish countries throughout the world for being politically correct and just plain stupid when it comes to immigration. The official United States foreign population stands at 53 million people, most of which are on welfare from failed nations or from prisons, mental institutions, gangs, or drug cartels. They and their children are supported through massive payments from patriotic American citizens who, because of their beautiful hearts, do not want to openly complain or cause trouble in any way, shape, or form. No, they never complain. They never do. They put up with what has happened to our country, but it's eating them alive to do so. A migrant earning $30,000 with a green card will get roughly $50,000 in yearly benefits for their family. The real migrant population is much higher. This refugee burden is the leading cause of social dysfunction in America, something that did not exist after World War II. Failed schools, high crime, urban decay, overcrowded hospitals, housing shortages, and large deficits, etc. As an example, hundreds of thousands of refugees from Somalia are completely taking over the once great state of Minnesota. Somalian gangs are roving in the streets looking for prey, as our wonderful people stay locked in their apartments and houses, hoping against hope that they will be left alone. The seriously...
I can't say the word.
The R word. He says the R word.
Wow,
there.
the president said the R word.
The seriously R word governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, does nothing, either through fear, incompetence, or both, while the worst congressman/woman in our country, Ilhan Omar, always wrapped in her swaddling hijab, and who probably came into the USA illegally in that you are not allowed to marry your brother, does nothing but hatefully complain about our country, its constitution, and how badly she's treated, when her place of origin is a decadent, backward, and crime-ridden nation, which is essentially not even a country for lack of government, military, police, schools, etc. Happy Thanksgiving.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, he also later in the week was like, it's the worst country in the world.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, it's, as you might have guessed, nearly everything he said there is untrue. Much of it wildly untrue. And it's a bit unclear why he suddenly got Somalis on his mind, but on Wednesday in the Oval Office, he kept that racism flowing, like we said.
The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, is saying that he's actually proud to have the largest Somali community in the country, and his police chief...
Well, then he's a fool.
Well, his police chief is also saying...
I wouldn't be proud to have the largest Somalian. Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. Look, these Somalians have taken billions of dollars out of our country. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud. She tries to deny it now, but you can't really deny it because, it just happened. She shouldn't be allowed to be a congresswoman, and I'm sure people are looking at that. And she should be thrown the hell out of our country. And most of those people, they have destroyed Minnesota, okay? Minnesota, you have an incompetent governor. You have a crooked governor. He's crooked as hell, but he's incompetent. Walz he should be ashamed. That beautiful land, that beautiful state, it's a hellhole right now. And the Somalians should be out of here. They've destroyed our country. And all they do is complain, complain, complain. You have her. She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with... Go back to your own country and figure out your Constitution. All she does is complain about this country. And without this country, she would not be in very good shape. She probably wouldn't be alive right now. So Somalia is considered by many to be the worst country on earth. I don't know. I haven't been there. I won't be there anytime soon. I hope. But what the Somalian people have done to Minnesota is not even believable. It's not even believable. And a lot of it starts with the governor. A lot of it starts with Barack Hussein Obama, because that's when people started coming in. And you have to have people come in that are going to love our country, cherish our country. They want to kiss our country goodnight. They talk about our country. We want them to pray for our country. This is not the people living in Minnesota. And she's a disaster. She should not be, and her friends shouldn't be allowed. Frankly, they shouldn't even be allowed to be congresspeople, okay? They shouldn't even be allowed to be congresspeople because they don't represent the interests of our country. Anybody else?
Holy shit! I mean, it would be pointless to try and address everything that he just said there because it's just racist. There's nothing more to it than that. He's saying the same shit that he says about every blue state and major city, talking about them like they're lawless, post-apocalyptic hellscapes, despite all the data, and most of the people living in these places saying otherwise. But because Minnesota has a very specific and unique demographic of immigrants, he gets to blame it all squarely on them, and basically say that Somalis are fundamentally, inherently, genetically violent and evil people, which is just racism, pure and simple. And we would bet money that the entire extent of Trump's knowledge of Somalia is the movie Black Hawk Down.
And he skipped all the dialogue parts.
If he even watched that, he probably just saw a picture of Ilhan Omar and got really angry.
Yeah.
What's she wearing?
I can't see her hair. I bet she's got beautiful hair.
Why don't you take it down? Smile. Like, I guarantee you, he just saw a picture and was like, oh!
Yeah, he does not like when he can't see what she's working with.
Anyways, here's the AP with some much-needed background on the U.S. Somali population.
An estimated 260,000 people of Somali descent were living in the U.S. in 2024, according to the Census Bureau's annual American Community Survey. The largest population is in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, home to about 84,000 residents, most of whom are American citizens. Ohio, Washington, and California also have significant populations. Almost 58% of the Somalis in Minnesota were born in the U.S. Of the foreign-born Somalis in Minnesota, an overwhelming majority, 87%, are naturalized U.S. citizens. Of the foreign-born population, almost half entered the U.S. in 2010 or later, according to the Census Bureau. They include many who fled the long civil war in their East African country and were drawn to the state's welcoming social programs. So yeah, the idea that Minnesota is full of, like, Somali illegal immigrants that ICE can go round up and snatch up, it's not based in reality. The overwhelming majority of Somalis aren't just here legally, but are full U.S. citizens. Now, this, of course, won't stop ICE from going around terrorizing their communities, though, because the message is clear. Regardless of legal status, they're not welcome here.
Yeah, that's why he called that out intentionally. He doesn't like Ilhan Omar. He doesn't like the squad. He knows that it has a Somali population, and he's doing this to literally terrorize them. He doesn't want them to feel safe in the place that most of them have known their entire lives.
Yeah, and
whose neighbors are just like, wait, what?
Like, yeah, Minnesota, like Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota are consistently ranked as like a pretty nice place to live in the U.S. Too cold for my taste, but
they got those sky walkways you can get through.
He paints this picture of parts of America that's just blatantly fucking untrue, and the fact that anyone believes it, much less the president of the United States, should be more alarming than it is at this point. Well, we're all kind of numb to it.
And for a lot of his supporters, it's always just beyond the fence. Because a lot of his supporters, I would assume, are further out from Minneapolis, St. Paul, and they're probably looking in there and going, I would never go into the city. It's a
Minneapolis?
It's a hellhole.
St. Paul?
Meanwhile, there's like a Prince statue and fucking music festivals going on, and
yeah, it's just, this is so fucking racist. It's like he's talking about these people like it's like in their blood.
I know. It's fucking insane.
Like usually they're at least smart enough to like mask it and be like, oh, it's the culture. But like the way he's talking about Somalis is on another level. It's because he's old and he probably has like a fucking tumor in his brain that he won't tell us about. But he's not doing well.
No.
He's calling people piggy. He's using the R slur.
He's falling asleep when people are talking directly to him and at him and about him. It's not looking good. But moving on to yet another Trump pardon. Last year, Democratic House Representative Henry Cuellar of Texas was indicted, along with his wife, on some pretty serious corruption charges. They were accused of accepting around $600,000 in bribes from an Azerbaijan energy company and a Mexican bank in exchange for advancing their interests in the United States. and the charges added up to potentially decades in prison.
As it should.
Yeah. The DOJ's indictment was pretty thorough, and it seemed like at the very least they had them dead to rights on a few things. And 2 political consultants even pleaded guilty to conspiring with Cuellar to launder the bribe money. Because the case against Cuellar and his wife was so big, it was probably going to be a while before it ever made it to trial. But that's a moot point now because just like with Eric Adams and his corruption charges, Trump just preemptively pardoned Henry Cuellar of all the crimes he's accused of. Here he is making that announcement via Truth Social.
For years, the Biden administration weaponized the justice system against their political opponents and anyone who disagreed with them. One of the clearest examples of this was when Crooked Joe used the FBI and DOJ to take out a member of his own party after highly respected Congressman Henry Cuellar bravely spoke out against open borders and the Biden border catastrophe. Sleepy Joe went after the congressman and even the congressman's wonderful wife Imelda simply for speaking the truth. It is un-American, and as I previously stated, the radical left Democrats are a complete and total threat to democracy. They will attack, rob, lie, cheat, destroy, and decimate anyone who dares to oppose their far-left agenda, an agenda that, if left unchecked, will obliterate our magnificent country. Because of these facts and others, I am hereby announcing my full and unconditional pardon of beloved Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar and Imelda. Henry, I don't know you, but you can sleep well tonight. Your nightmare's finally over.
Okay, well,
the corrupt Democrats are doing corruption by prosecuting corrupt What?
Yeah, it's clearly a well thought out move by him. There's a lot of reasons why he would do this, but it is almost exactly like what happened with Eric Adams. In both cases, Joe Biden, he's apparently he cooked up a bunch of fake charges to try to send them to prison for years because they were critical of his border policy.
Yeah, and obviously anyone who does that, they're going in the clink.
I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but what makes more sense is the idea that, for one thing, Trump loves doing corruption and wants to set a precedent that corruption is legal and cool, and accusations of corruption are always just smears. And 2, he loves having guys like Eric Adams and Henry Cuellar be indebted to him for saving them from going to prison. It's just blatantly corrupt and part of a recurring pattern of similar corruption. But thankfully, we have leaders like Hakeem Jeffries to call this out for what it is.
Get him, Hakeem.
Take the leash off. Get the bulldog's gonna get him.
Tell him.
Well, Congressman Cuellar is a beloved member of the House of Representatives, loved in his community, particularly in Laredo. I've had the opportunity to spend time with him down in Laredo in South Texas. I look forward to that moving forward. Listen, the reality is this indictment was very thin to begin with, in my view. The charges were eventually going to be dismissed, if not at the trial court level by the Supreme Court, as they've repeatedly done in instances just like this.
So just to follow up on that, do you agree with the president's pardon here? Do you think that was a good thing then?
I don't know why the president decided to do this. I think the outcome was exactly the right outcome.
Okay, never mind. Hakeem Jeffries thinks what Trump did is very cool and good, which is probably the reaction that Trump initially thought that he would get from Democrats for pardoning a Democrat, and it worked. Weirdly, though, while he's going to bat for his corrupt colleague, Henry Cuellar, he hasn't lifted a finger to defend Ilhan Omar while Trump is going after her and her constituents. So I guess his priorities are straight.
Yeah, well, that's leadership. You got to pick your battles.
Yeah, so now Trump not only has a guy who he has wrapped around his finger and who owes him a debt, he has certain Democrats congratulating him for it. And now, in the future, when he does any kind of pardon, he can now point to it and be like, I pardon Democrats too. I think that everyone was unfairly treated. And so now, when I inevitably pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, it is more believable and easy for people to accept, because that is where this is leading.
It would be unfair to leave Ghislaine in prison while all these much worse criminals.
That is where this is leading.
What is kind of funny is he keeps hinting that he can undo anyone that Joe Biden or Barack Obama ever pardoned. Which, like, I don't know if he's really thought that one through. Yeah, because, like, if any president can undo a pardon a previous president, which they can't, it's like, well, as much as stupid as I think the pardons are, it is, like, in the fucking Constitution. They would have to amend that.
Sure.
But, like, there's nothing in there from, there's no legal process for undoing a pardon. But if he really wants to do it, I mean, I say, sure, fine. We're already playing fucking Calvin ball here.
Yeah.
This shit's already just like blatantly corrupt. So, yeah, I think it would be really cool if
every 4 years,
President Gavin
unpardoned and pardoned.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool
Snip, snap.
if by getting a presidential pardon, you are just for the rest of your life in this perpetual state.
Yeah.
This state of limbo where
Physical purgatory.
you're pardoned, but you're never fully
Yes.
pardoned.
Uh-huh.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would just choose to serve the time, honestly.
In so many ways, it would be the better option.
Anyway, also, I guess, like, Mike Johnson, he didn't consult Mike Johnson about it, and, like, Henry Cuellar, he said, he's like, listen, I'm not leaving the Democratic Party.
Well, no, he's not. He's still going to have his position in Texas, but Trump now has him indebted.
Yeah.
So that would be the entire point. Mike Johnson's got his own shit to worry about because much like Pete Hegseth and Kash Patel, Mike Johnson is getting a lot of op-eds written about him from very friendly Republican outlets that seem to indicate that we're going to have an entirely new administration next year. Like Hegseth, Patel, and Mike Johnson, and probably Pam Bondi, you would assume, are almost certainly all going to be gone.
Yeah, well, let's check Kalshi. Let's check the odds on Kalshi.
Oh my gosh. We're partnering with CNN in a totally above board, very cool thing for the country of
I think
America.
it's a great fucking idea. We'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Oh my God.
But what a great day to be alive. Great time to live. Because now we should put the bet. We should just have betting odds up on screen.
Like ESPN.
We should just have a giant screen behind us that just shows us the gambling odds for any topic we're talking about.
True. Yeah.
So that you at home
can follow along,
can gamble,
place a bet.
Yeah, you like. I hate just like watching something and not being able to gamble about.
Yeah.
Like you got sports, but there's not always a game on.
I don't know. Is Jake Tapper going to promote his book? I say yes. Easy money.
Stone cold lock.
Anyways,
we'll get to that fucking story. But first, we got to let you know this episode is sponsored by Raycon. If you're looking for a great holiday gift, Raycon recently sent us their essential open earbuds, and they're great for listening to music and still being able to hear what's going on around you. Situational awareness, perfect for the gym or out on a walk or a run. And right now, they're up to 20% off for the holidays, so grab a pair while you can. Regular earbuds block out everything. You can't hear someone calling your name, a car honking, anything. These Raycons sit just outside your ear canal, so you get really clear sound, but you can actually hear what's happening around you too. They're really light, and the ear hook part rotates, so they actually stay in the ear.
Raycon has over 3 million customers, and the sound quality is just as good as the way more expensive brand. They're half the price because they're not paying for celebrity endorsements and all that retail markup stuff. And if you don't like them, they have a 30-day guarantee. The open-ear design on these earbuds means a comfortable, breathable fit that delivers immersive audio while keeping you safe and aware of your surroundings. They've got a rotating ear hook that ensures a secure, personalized fit for any activity, and they are ultra lightweight. Plus, they've got multi-point connectivity. Connect to multiple devices and switch seamlessly without hassle.
Our favorite part is the 36 hours of battery life. 8-hour earbuds plus the 36-hour case equals days of non-stop listening. If you've been thinking about getting some open earbuds, these are the ones you should get. I'm telling you. The essential open earbuds are here for the holiday season, and they're selling fast. Raycon audio products are up to 20% off this holiday season. Go to buyraycon.com/newsdayopen to save on Raycon audio products site-wide. Order by December 15th to guarantee delivery by Christmas, because great gifts shouldn't show up late.
No. This episode is also sponsored by Shopify. Cha-ching! The best platform for shopping, hosting your own business, like our merch store, which has new designs dropping soon. I'm glad I got the samples because the hoodie that we're doing hoodies, it didn't have pockets on the front.
Oh, gotta have that.
And I was like, what the hell? So I gotta try a new different one. And it also keeps all of your shipments, and you can track them in one place. There's a ton of amazing duos out there in the world. We're a perfect example, but the best duo is, of course, Shopify and you. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify is there to help you grow.
Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, up to 36% better compared to other leading commerce platforms. No matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. We love Shopify's simple and easy-to-use app because it keeps track of all of your online shipments. You can even connect other platforms so that your tracking is all in one place.
Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and it's the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklyn, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's extensive help resources are there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/newsday, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/newsday now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/newsday.
All right, back to the news now with just a couple more stories to round out the show. First off, as you're well aware, everything's gambling now.
Might as well gamble.
Might as well gamble. Or not. In a few short years, we've gone from gambling in this country being something that you would generally have to go to a place like Vegas to do legally. You got to plan a trip around it, to now just being able to not only gamble on just about anything, but do it anytime, day or night, right on your phone, while you're taking a shit, in the bathtub,
wherever,
in church, while driving.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. If there's a bet you can place, you better place that bet.
Am I going to drive this car right off a fucking bridge?
This could be the one that changes your life.
Yeah.
So this has, of course, had some pretty alarming social consequences, particularly for young men who are just bombarded with gambling advertisements at a time when wages and cost of living are the worst they've been in generations.
Well, you're just one quick bet away from financial freedom.
You may not be living anywhere near the standard quality of life as your parents or your grandparents, but you know what you have that they didn't have?
Access to Russian ping pong that airs at 4 o'clock in the morning.
You can gamble all day on your phone to your heart's content.
Yeah.
And you can make a lot more money than they ever knew.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, they were buying fucking war bonds. Suckers. Losers. So aside from, creating an entire generation of addicts, the proliferation of gambling sites like Kalshi, where you can just bet on fucking anything, has created a scenario where you can look up the gambling odds on just about anything. And despite those odds not necessarily having any basis in reality, they are treated like actual probabilities of things happening, which they're not, at all. That's not what they are.
No, but I do have good news for everyone. They're bringing that shit to CNN. What could go wrong?
Good. I was tired of in-depth analysis. I don't fucking watch this shit, but I assume they have in-depth analysis on topics. Get rid of it. I want to see what the gamblers think.
CNN, to be honest, if they had never announced anything and I just started seeing odds popping up on the screen, it wouldn't be out of place. It is arguably, obviously Fox News is bad, but out of the big 24-hour cable networks, it is awful.
Yeah.
So awful. So awful. Anyways, here's Axios. CNN has struck a partnership with Kalshi, the world's largest global prediction market company, bringing Kalshi's data to its journalism across its television, digital, and social channels, executives tell Axios. Why it matters. The collaboration marks the first major news partnership for Kalshi, as it looks to establish itself as the most authoritative source of information about the real-time probabilities of major cultural and political future events, CEO and co-founder Tarek Mansour tells Axios. Traditionally, Mansour notes, newsrooms have focused on explaining what has already happened or what's happening in the present. Now, with access to Kalshi's prediction data, Mansour believes CNN and, in the future, other newsrooms and journalists can help audiences interpret what may happen more accurately in the future. Stop. Just stop. We're done. The experiment is over. This is so far beyond comical and stupid that I cannot believe it's an actual thing that's happening.
Yeah, it's just dumb because, listen.
We've been over this in so many different ways and takes and angles, but the one that I always go back to and think of is the fact that, take where people were going into WNBA games and tossing dildos onto the court and extrapolate that into, real world violence and terrorism.
There was a story this week, someone at some think tank, fucked with a map of the Russia-Ukraine war. And, they can't. The only reason anyone can come up with is that it affected a bet on Kalshi.
Yeah.
That said, like, the Russian troop lines will advance to this point by this certain date. And so everyone got paid out. And then, like, an hour later, the company running the maps was like, wait, no, that's not true. Put it back. But yeah,
there's no positive outcome of this at all.
well, it's like, okay, so the traditionally.
And this is a sign of like just CNN's dwindling fucking reach and credibility, that they're even coming up with an idea to work with a fucking prediction market company.
So it's like, this is the same model. The original model for this is sports. No sane or smart person would say that the betting odds in sports are like accurate predictions of what will happen. Like they're decent. Like, you know, you can extrapolate some, maybe leaning either way, but it's like, no, like
the point spread
is not a prediction of the future.
It is pretty scary how accurate the point spreads are. But yeah, I get what you're saying. What you're doing is predicting the future of events and not a game that has to end with a certain point winner.
But what I'm saying is even sports bets aren't always accurate.
No.
If they were, you would just bet with the odds every time.
Yeah.
Anyway, it continues. Zoom in. As part of the partnership, CNN will get access to Kalshi's data through an API or back-end interface that automatically updates in real time. That data will be featured on CNN's air through a real-time data ticker and can be referenced across CNN's platforms when journalists discuss news predictions. The partnership will include prediction market content related to politics, news, culture, and weather. The integration will be championed by CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton, who will tap into real-time insights from Kalshi in his reporting on air, both via linear TV and CNN's new streaming subscription service. Didn't they try that already? Anyway, Enton and other CNN journalists will also have access to the data for analysis and fact-checking across CNN's channels, including digital and social stories.
Pack it up. You're done, CNN. Get the fuck out. What?
Let's check those odds.
Also, you're going to be able to watch the odds change in real time as they're reporting on it because they're exposing people to whatever story it is. And then you give anyone, the multiple people that are working behind the scenes or on camera at CNN, a lot of financial incentive to write things a certain way or present them a certain way.
I mean, like, sports betting is degenerate, but like this is politics betting.
Not just politics, like reality betting.
Someone watching CNN all day and just like betting on shit is, I feel like, way more degenerate. That's a new level.
It's so bad and stupid, but it's primarily just absurd that the news media, whose entire job is explaining via experts what's happening and giving viewers a decent sense of what will happen next, would give any weight to what a bunch of degenerate gamblers online think will happen. We already have polling, and polling certainly isn't perfect, but this is literally just random people on the internet trying to get rich by betting on things. This is degenerate behavior. Like, I like gambling, but I like having a bit of separation between me and that activity. I like the fact that I haven't been enticed to go to Vegas in a long time because it's fucking expensive and stupid and pointless. So I just haven't bet in a long time. Like,
I don't like gambling at all. I like playing a little bit of blackjack, but the tables are now like minimum $20.
They've done an even trickier thing, which is they changed the odds to where you make less with your.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're tricky. They're tricky. So these odds, of course, have some basis in reality because generally gamblers aren't going to bet on things that absolutely aren't going to happen, but it's mostly just vibes and mostly just totally useless. I could see it going bad in a lot of ways. Look at the politics page on Kalshi. So many of these are things that are simply unknowable at this point. Like, who will be the 2028 Democrat and Republican presidential nominees and who will win the 2028 general election? Those are questions that are always unanswerable 2.5 years out. And the fact that people are betting on it doesn't change that. But I can explain to you how it works because you're betting on a futures contract, which means at any point in time, you can cash out that bet. So if you bet on Gavin Newsom right now and his thing keeps going up, he doesn't have to be the nominee. Mm-hmm. You can cash out early and take your winnings from that you made 6 months ago.
Yeah.
That's why this is the legal loophole that it exists in, is that it treats it as if you were betting on stocks. Yeah. You're like shorting stocks or whatever. So like, yeah, you can bet on a team to win a game, and then halfway through the thing, they're crushing. You're like, yeah, I'm just going to take the money and leave.
Yeah. Wow. Very useful for news analysis.
Yes, of course. Yeah. All this accomplishes is advertising and legitimizing gambling to even more people. Because Imagine growing up in a world where this is just on TV all the time and everyone around you is gambling. It's just part of life, I guess, now.
Yeah, dude, it's gotten dark really fucking fast. Like
Very fast.
The CEO of Roblox is like openly discussing like, oh, how do we make gambling for kids work legally?
Well, we got to figure it out.
We got to find a way to get these kids to gamble.
Yeah.
They see their dads and their older brothers doing it.
Look how
it
cool they are.
looks so fun and so cool. And like,
we need like a Joe Camel for gambling.
We do. Yeah, we need to bring back mascots for harmful products.
Yeah. Doug the degenerate gambler.
Anyway, finally today, let's end on a positive note. This is some news from last week that we didn't get to because of the holiday, but it's a great indicator that the tide may be shifting somewhat. For the last few years, artificial intelligence has been shoved in all of our faces at every opportunity by companies convinced that we'd all love it if we just give it a chance. Just give it a chance.
Yeah.
It's going to change your life. And as AI gets better and better at creating believable audio and video content, we're told that soon we'll all be enjoying AI-generated music and movies instead of human-created ones.
Gross.
As if that's something consumers actually want. Well, the backlash to this has been so loud that now one media conglomerate is making the fact that their content is AI-free a core message of their branding, and it's honestly not a company we would have expected. I mean, back in the day, Clear Channel, which is now known as iHeartRadio, they seemed dead set on making broadcast radio in this country as homogenous as possible, and they largely succeeded at that. But I guess they draw the line at replacing radio hosts and musical artists with AI. Here's the LA Times.
As media executives wrestle with the use of artificial intelligence, radio giant iHeartMedia wants to stand out. We don't use AI-generated personalities. We don't play AI music that features synthetic vocalists pretending to be human. Tom Pullman, the company's programming chief, wrote in an email to employees. The podcasts we publish are also guaranteed human, he wrote. Radio station DJs now are expected to say guaranteed human as part of their hourly on-air disclosures, which include announcing the station's call letters as required by the Federal Communications Commission. The new branding campaign has its roots in iHeartMedia's research that listeners turn on the radio for more than just music and information. Consumers aren't just looking for content, they're looking for connection, the company's president of Insights, Lainey Furtick, wrote in an October blog post. In a world of tech overload, consumers are searching for something real.
The company said its research shows that consumers crave interactions with real people, and they have deep concerns about the growing use of AI and its potential societal changes. Pullman pointed to a recent survey that showed 2/3 of respondents were worried about losing their job to AI. iHeartMedia employees should embrace guaranteed human as more than a marketing tagline, Pullman wrote. When listeners interact with us, they know they're connecting with real voices, real stories, and real emotion, Pullman wrote. Sometimes you have to pick a side. We're on the side of humans.
I'll believe it when I see it. Give me a couple years of this.
I mean, I think it's just interesting that now they're like once every hour, as part of announcing our fucking call sign, we're doing this, and it's being presented as like a good thing.
Yeah.
Whereas for the last like 2 years, we've all been gaslit into being like, no, it's all gonna be AI, and you're gonna fucking love it. It's gonna be better than before. You're gonna love it so much.
The one refreshing thing out of this like terrible media conglomerate is that the switch in marketing of like, yeah, okay, we went a little too far. People want real human things now, because that's really what's going to change it, is people just rejecting this en masse. And then the reverse happening, which is everyone saying, no, we don't fuck with that stuff at all. That's the weird tech guys.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that.
I mean,
that's those losers.
It is an interesting point, because I feel like at this point, like terrestrial radio, it's like a very specific like subsection of society who listen to it, and it's like people who work jobs that are boring as fuck or are driving a lot.
Yeah.
And those people don't want to be reminded constantly like, hey, you're going to lose your job and AI is going to steal your job. Mm-hmm. It stole our jobs here on the radio. We're not even fucking real. It's going to steal your job next.
Yeah.
You feel good? Are you happy? You're going to be able to watch SpongeBob do whatever you want.
Simpsons did it. They got the big machine there, and he's like, wow, how does he keep up with the news like that? Don't praise the machine. But this company is not doing that, apparently. So good for them.
I mean, I'd like to see this become a trend, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was. It's just like, yeah, trust us.
Farm to table.
No AI in this one.
No, I think that will definitely be a
like. I feel like at this point, like even just like, especially with software and websites, like you gotta just get it out of here. Just like they're literally just shoving it in your face, just scrolling, and it's like, hey, Mister, you want to do some AI? Hey, Mister, we got AI over here. I'm like, get out of my way, kid, street rat.
It also makes me like completely suspicious of any product that I would purchase online too, because it's like, I'll get ads for stuff for the nieces for Christmas. I'm like, I don't even know what that looks like in real life because there's a whole cottage industry of channels that just buy things that are being marketed to them. And then it shows up and it's like obviously nowhere close to what was being pitched. So.
Yeah. I hope the backlash comes soon. I think it's gone on long enough.
We've all had enough.
I don't think anyone's having their minds changed about this shit anytime soon. You either like it or you don't.
Yeah, and I feel like at this point, it's even like executives have to start questioning the usefulness of this. I thought we were going to be saving millions and billions of dollars and that all of this would be running seamlessly. Now I have more work. We're making less money and we look bad because we fired a bunch of people.
I mean, and iHeartMedia, they must have data to back this up because like they're a huge media conglomerate. I don't know if they're publicly traded or not, but like they have shareholders and like, at this point, it's like your fiduciary duty to produce your product as cheaply as possible.
Yeah.
And so that's why so many companies especially in their shareholder calls, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to AI this, AI that. But like for them to go out and be like, no, specifically no AI, probably indicates that they've done market research on this.
Yeah.
That says, oh yeah, people fucking hate this.
No,
they don't like that.
They're
going to change the channel.
A huge, a welcoming thing, although it'll be overdone like everything else. But yeah, it'll be a huge thing. Like 15 years ago, and it's like, nope, no trans fats in these chips. We've added a lot of other weird shit.
Just cis fats.
Yes. No, it's going to be the no AI logo is going to be on things as a way to make people feel comfortable about what they're buying.
Yeah.
So
good.
Anyways, that's it for the episode. We will be back with more. We do have another episode for you to watch that was recent over here. But please, if you can, like the video, leave a comment, and we will be back soon with more news for you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.